Hey everyone, welcome back to the Anderson Bros Outdoors. I'm Jake, and today we're doing another installment of What's Jake Doing? Welcome back. As I said, my name's Jake. On today's episode of What's Jake Doing, we have project number 1. Vanquish VRD stance. We have seen some things with this truck. We have another body. Big shout out to my brother Mike for getting the body because he's used this the most, and you can see it's pretty beat up. It has been very impressive though on the amount of abuse it has withstood, but that's not the project for today. Today's project is we installed lower links. So the stock links on the stance are very cheap, and you will need to almost immediately upgrade them. There is an upgrade kit you can purchase directly from Vanquish. I don't know if it's on A-Main yet, but I will leave the link below for the website for Vanquish and potentially A-Main if it's available there at this time. Project number 1, some other notes. We have noticed that these sliders are very malleable. You will potentially bend those. You'll have to bend those back. Really, the only downsides of this truck right out of the box are 1, the drag brake, 2, the links that we replaced, 3, the shocks, they do leak. As you can see, this shock here is pretty much spewing oil everywhere. And then 4, I would say after a bit of use, you will notice that you are going to bend the sliders. It happens. They are very thin metal. They'll bend back. I wouldn't be hugely concerned about it. The only other thing I'm going to say about the truck is that it is waterproof, and we have tested that many times. So don't be scared. Get wet. You might like it. Project 2 is we finally received some more ESCs. This is a DYS BL Heli Series 70 amp ESC. I am working on the video. I know I've been saying that for a long time. Unfortunately, a majority of the ESCs that I'm purchasing are on the AliExpress website, and they do take days, weeks, or months to get here. We're still waiting. With that being said, we did receive the 70 amp AM32. You can see that right here. If you do purchase these for your crawler, make sure that they are AM32 ESCs. If they're not AM32, you're not going to be able to program them how you want. We have the 35 amp version. I believe I have a 40 amp version coming. I have the 70 amp, I have an 80 amp. I have several different motors to test with. And I'm also in the process of designing a test station for not only the motor utilization, but also the ESC. So we'll be able to put force against the motor and heat up both the motor and the ESC at the same time to see what type of temperature that it produces. I know I've been saying forever, but we will be releasing this video at some point. So that's project 2. In the meantime, one of my compatriots, Brad, has asked me to build an ESC combo for him. This is a 35 amp ESC with a Beck and a 1300 kV outrunner motor. This entire combination, including the battery plug, I think was between $50 and $60. It was no more than $60 for everything. It's going to work very well, and it weighs next to nothing. Super excited to get this going and see how that works out for him. I know 1300 kV is not the fastest motor in the world, but based off of whatever gearing you use, it will work. Project 2, motors, ESCs, budget friendly. We're working on them. And then that brings us into project 3. Project 3 is we do have the servo test jig for testing servos. I did test a Reefs Raw 500. I'm hopefully getting the 800 LP today for testing. And in the meantime, I also am testing or have purchased and tested, it's on the website, an RS400 from NSDRC, an RS650, and an RS450B. I've already tested all 3 of these servos, and I will say that the RS650 is probably the most, it is the most expensive of the 3, so this is $135. These are $96, I think, and these are 65 bucks. This servo did not outperform the stock Vanquish stance servo. For the price point, 65 bucks. I don't know. I really like NSDRC, but this servo right here is, you know, I haven't used it in anything, so I can't say for certain, but based off of the numbers that I'm seeing, the stock stance VS1 servo beats this. For the price point, you could probably find something that's cheaper on Amazon that is a better. With that being said, we do have other servos on the way. Again, AliExpress, Slow Boat. Yeah, we will get them at some point and we will test them. The 450B was okay, it was mediocre. The RS400 is more of a racing servo than a crawler servo, so we didn't expect it to do fantastically. You do notice that with a servo, I believe that the 6 to 7 volt range is pretty much the same output. You have to push it to 7.4 to get anything more, and it's really not much, so it's not really worth going and exceeding the voltage. Now this RS650, it was impressive. We were able to get just over 700 ounce inches out of it, or inch ounces, whatever ounce inches. We were able to get 700 ounces out of it. I think it was 704 to be exact, but there were very few servos on the list that are able to actually do more than they're rated for, or there are very few servos on the list that are able to hit or exceed what they're rated for at the voltage. Very impressed with the NSDRC servos. Most specifically, I would buy this RS650 over the 700. Realistically, I would probably buy the 650 for most applications, because it is a Beck servo, so it's not direct power and it's half size. If you use something like the Fusion SE or Fusion Pro, this is the servo you're going to want to buy. It is $10 more expensive than the 800, but it'll get the job done. Highly suggest getting it. That is project 3. Let's move into project number 4. Project number 4. It's not really a project, it's more of an unboxing / review. I'm not sure that I'm actually going to get to it. I'd like to, but I have a lot more video to edit and put out before I get to this. I did do an unboxing and review of this truck. It was on sale for I think $300 from Horizon Hobbies. This is actually a 10 scale truck. Here's another 10 scale truck. Either this is 10 scale and that's not, or that's 10 scale and this is not. I don't know which one. Overall, super impressed with this truck. It's a lot of fun. As you can see, it's got sand on it still from the dunes. We did get some footage of it out there. Not much, but I would say this truck is not a basher. This is more of like a cruiser. Like, I just want to sit there and kind of cruise around on 3S and not go 8,000 miles an hour. I just want to watch it work. Like, watching the IFS and the rear trailing arms work is just magical. Comparing the way the suspension works on this truck versus like the stance or another A-arm truck, it's phenomenal. This will just eat everything it wants. This will eat mostly everything that you throw at it. It doesn't eat everything. Obviously, there are limitations with everything, but it does do it with finesse. I mean, it just looks so graceful going across whoops or, you know, little track marks in the sand or even in the dirt. I mean, it's just such a fun truck to drive. I have been driving it quite frequently and, you know, just kind of getting a feel for it. The video for this is not going to be released likely anytime soon, so I went ahead and added it here into the projects because it is indeed a project. And I'm just noticing that this left tire eats into the body, and I don't think that is how that is supposed to be. Okay, yeah, we did some major damage to it. We bent one of the upper links on the rear axle. That's why it's eating in there. Making a lot more sense now. Project number 4. It's been a lot of fun. Project 5, I don't know where we're going to be with this. I have been working on the good old Element Ecto. The concept is super cool. I think the truck itself is super cool. It performs really well in some instances. In other areas, it just falls really hard in terms of performance. It just doesn't do what you want it to do. Project 5 has been putting the Fusion Pro motor in it, a better servo, and taking it out and testing it. I did end up putting the rear sway arm back on, trying to figure it out. I don't know what I can do to make this truck better. I've been working on different things. Realistically, I like the trailing arm concept, but the next modification for this truck are going to be a set of desert lizards for it, and see how it performs after that. I'll probably get a new bumper as well. Maybe put a winch on there too, because it's very top heavy for some reason. I'm not sure why. This is Project 5. I've been trying to make it to where I like it. So far I have been unsuccessful, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. So maybe we'll get it to a spot that we like it. As you've probably seen, we did have a trip to Woka Oklahoma last weekend. We took the RZR out there. We normally go 2 to 3 times a year and ride at the dunes for 2 days to a week. And it's always very fun. We were fortunate, the weather was all right. It was great the first day, terrible the second day, and then fantastic the third day. We did get a bunch of riding in. Poor Colton, his machine broke down. It has a misfire real bad. We're not sure if it's an injector, or we did replace the fuel pump, but that didn't do anything. We tried cleaning the injector, and that didn't really work. The sad part is that when we went to leave, he pulled it onto the trailer and it was running like it was brand new. It seems to be a theme. Poor Colton cannot get his RZR to run at the dunes, so he was definitely passengering with other people. Huge shout out to the other people for giving him a ride. It's always a lot of fun. Maybe we'll post some video of that at some point. That's all we got for this week. Thanks for making it this far. We appreciate all your support. Huge shout out to the people coming in the following scene. And we hope you have a great day.